Welcome to the old and the beautiful, where dreams will come true, where movies will be reviewed, and the love between these two will truly be tested. Now, here are your hosts, Wes and Jen. Welcome in to another episode of The Old and the Beautiful. My name is Wes.
And I'm Jen.
And tonight, it's our first official episode.
Yeah.
And we had our first episode.
We had our introduction.
Yeah, that was more introducing you to us as a couple and individually, you know, what we like, what we don't like. Actually, we don't even know what we don't like. We mostly just said
We
what
mostly
like.
just did movies we like, yeah.
Yeah, and tonight we're going to get into some films that, you know,
yes.
they're going to make us, the ones that make us angry, mad, upset, just bitter, you know. But at the same time, I think later on we'll actually go over some films we just don't like.
Yep.
I think that's a whole different category.
It might be a whole,
These-
though most of these I don't like.
Yeah, let's say, but there are definitely some I leave. The ones that they don't make me mad. I just don't like them.
Yeah,
because they're just shitty movies.
These make me mad, and because of that, I don't like them.
Right. So this goes double fold, I guess, or twofold, I guess, not double fold, twofold. So, yeah. So I think anyway. So before we get into it, though, it is now officially November 29th. It's the day after Thanksgiving.
That's when we're recording. Anyway.
Right.
So
it'll be out.
You guys had a great time.
Yeah, it'll be out in December. So happy December.
Hope you had fun times with your families, and
we didn't
ate a lot of food. No, our Thanksgiving was weird, but we're doing a makeup tomorrow, so it'll all be good.
Yeah.
We had a few problems before the episode. We have solved them.
Yeah.
We hope
so. We hope so.
Yeah, we hope so. MacGyver style. But that's it. It's interesting. We're speaking to each other through
plexiglass. Not really. It's like a
thin piece of plastic. I don't know what it is. Something I had laying around.
It helps with the echo.
It's one of those things that, I was like, oh, I might use this someday. I can't throw it away. And I kept it, and look, here we go.
We were looking for something like cover her mic up with, and she's like, oh my God, look what I found. And we were so excited.
Because we wanted to see each other.
Right.
And yet stop a little bit of the echo.
Yeah. It's a little bit still there, but we're going to use that to kind of accentuate the audio. So it's going to be good. This is a trial and error, guys. This is how podcasts go. Have you ever done a podcast before? This is exactly how this goes, because it's my older podcasts. I remember listening to the first few episodes, and they were just terrible. So we got better as we went along. So, it just took time to get things right and, whatnot. And
so just, be patient with us.
Be very patient with us.
We'll get it. Even if we have to MacGyver the shit out of it.
We always MacGyver the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
We'll MacGruber it if we have to.
Yeah, MacGruber it.
MacGruber or MacGyver. What if they got married? I don't know. Or are they the same person on different planes or universes? Yeah. Wow, that's
different dimensions.
We should cover movies that act like they're on different planes or different dimensions or something. Maybe that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just a little sneak peek behind the curtain here. We are going to cover different subjects covered with movies, and we're going to give you not really a countdown necessarily, where we're going to give you a top 5. So no particular order, unless it just happens to fall that way. But we're not going to say this is my order. This is the best, this is the worst. It's just going to be what it is. So, but
because that's really hard to do, especially for me.
I did it for a long time, and it was definitely hard. So
I'm not somebody who really if you put me on the spot, I couldn't really tell you what my absolute 100% favorite movie of all time is.
Oh, I could.
I know you.
I could.
I know you could, but I could not. Maybe I could give you a top 5, but I wouldn't really want to order them because I feel like it would hurt the other one's feelings.
Most people
couldn't
put
them
in
order.
Don't feel bad.
But yeah, so I'm just not. That's just not me. But yeah. No, you're different, but still,
I'm way different. I was built differently. But tonight, like I said, just to kind of reiterate, we are going to cover a top 5 films that made us mad, angry, upset, just pissed off. And just to preface, also, we're not going to be covering anything politically
Yeah, not really. Well, yeah.
involved, just to keep that
No,
out
these
of
are
it.
things that just made us mad, like, as far as the movie goes. Not
Yes.
that, like, the event in history made
Social
us mad.
injustice or
Right.
whatever,
We're
yeah,
not we're not going that way.
because
It
that could be
was
a whole
too
different
hard
episode.
to pull out. Yeah, that's a whole we can save that for some other time.
Yeah.
But it was too hard to pull out both of those things.
True,
So we're
true.
just going by, like, this movie itself
Mhm.
just made me mad for X reason or
Right,
whatever. Yeah.
and some of these are definitely gonna surprise you.
Some of these some of these yeah.
Yeah, because I have a few that people know about me that I don't like, but, and it is what it is. I cannot exclude them from the list. I did that okay, so let me go back. I did a podcast a long time ago called It's a Horror Podcast, and on one episode, I actually omitted a movie to make the podcast work better, and then Kevin called me out on it. My co-host called me out on it, and from then on, I was like, "You know what? No, it's whatever I'm true to. I gotta stick with that.
Uh-huh.
Can't change it up just for" so I'm sticking true to that, so it is what it is.
These are 100% our choices,
Yes.
though I can guarantee that at least 2 of mine, most people would agree with.
True, and we don't know each other's list
No,
either.
we do not.
So
I have no idea what he has over
and
there.
I have no idea what she
No,
has.
no idea. And I
So
can also promise that we're probably not gonna have any of the same ones this time.
probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not. If we do, I'll be very surprised
I'll be
because
extremely surprised.
yeah, it'll like we'll probably get up and jump around and
Yeah.
like knock everything over and then
Knock our
cancel the
whole
podcast.
MacGyver
Cancel
setup
the
over.
podcast and yeah, it'll be horrible. But
Yeah.
anyway. All right, so let's just get into these because I'm really excited to hear what you have.
Yeah.
Because I definitely want to talk about these films and dive into them. So I'll let you. I always diverted, so I'm going to divert to my wife
Okay.
because you should go first always.
Well, the
So
first one I'm gonna start with, is not gonna be a surprise if you listen to the first episode because I did touch on it then, but I have to put it on this list.
really,
Yes, and that is Maleficent. Maleficent the movie. Listen, I know I already touched on this, okay? It just infuriates me that badly. And I was thinking about more of the reasons why it infuriates me. Not only are they giving her like some backstory where some boy broke her heart and that's what made her mad and that's what made her evil. Okay. They take it way off book here. Okay. The original movie is sacred to me and they take it way off from that. Not only do they give her like okay, giving her story that we didn't learn about in the first one is one thing, but they changed the story from the original, because at some point, Maleficent is watching Sleeping Beauty grow up, Aurora grow up, right? That never happened. She couldn't find Aurora until she was like 16 years old. And it really, really pissed her off. And so it made me so angry, I turned it off and I didn't finish it. I will admit that I did not finish this movie.
how far did
Okay.
you get in?
I was more than halfway,
Okay,
I think.
well, you should get halfway though. At least it was
And then
like
I was
5
just
minutes.
like, I had to stop it for some reason and go do something else. And I was like, I can't come back to this. I can't. It was just making me that mad. And I, like I said, Angelina Jolie, love her. She's great. She looks great. She's not green, but
What are you
she
gonna
looks
do?
great, but yeah, I mean, I even went so far as to go I played Maleficent at Halloween one year, and I don't just say dressed up as because, I embodied her.
Right.
Um,
We need to put that up on the page too.
I do have some pictures. We'll see about that. We'll see if pictures are going up, but,
They're definitely going up.
um, yeah, I mean, I worked at a school at the time, and, I went as Maleficent, my friend went as Cruella, and then, another coworker went as the evil stepmother from what is that one? Snow White.
Right.
And we just terrorized the school all day. It was the most fun I've ever had. But yeah, so Maleficent the movie makes me extremely angry. Um, so angry I couldn't finish it. But everybody kind of knew that one, so I want to go ahead and get that one out of the way because it's not news if you listened to the first one
It's
or if
definitely
you
not
know
news.
me at all.
I know, yeah, I was about to say, I kinda figured it'd be on there, but I was like, we'll wait and see, and, I was right, so
But I've got some good ones coming up, so
of
don't worry.
course, of course. So I'm gonna start my you said your obvious one, maybe I should start with my obvious one. I was gonna start with
Yeah,
something
start with
different,
it.
but,
No,
yeah,
start with it.
let's just go with the obvious
Get
one
out of
that
the
we
way.
all know that alright, if you know me, if you follow me on Instagram or you listen to my other podcast or whatever, if you know just me in general, you know that I'm a huge Scream fan.
Really?
Ghostface no, I mean, just is what it is.
Mhm.
but literally have him tattooed all over my body, and like he's everything I and he's just amazing. So Wes Craven, the director, that I love so much,
Mhm.
created this character and then created this movie back in '96, or I created it, but it was the first film, '96.
Mhm.
We went through 3 films, that were the trilogy, and they kind of pushed that narrative. Then later on, well, like 10 years later, 11 years later, they came out with, or no, it was 9 years, maybe it was between there, somewhere between there. We came out with Scream 4, and that was, a lot of people said it wasn't needed, but I like it a lot. I think it's a really cool social commentary on the fact of where we were at that time and then went to then. I
Mhm.
mean, can't
Mhm.
can't argue that. But I still think it's a great film. Most people will disagree, but that's okay. You can do that. You're wrong. But 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 here's where it all falls apart. A little film called Scream, and not the original Scream. Like it literally is Scream 5. And it pains me to see literally the IMDb rating on this is 6.3. Makes me want to run
Mm.
outside and throw myself into the pool and drown myself.
Mm.
Um, because this movie should never have been made. Wes had passed away. The Scream franchise was, in my eyes, complete.
Mhm.
Complete. It was done. It was fantastic. It was great. 4 films, perfect. Let's end it off. Then we had some directors that, the same directors that did Ready or Not, which I love that movie. Um, but I was very apprehensive. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna, let it happen, see what happens. Kevin Williamson was involved in the writing, which he's wrote in the originals, the first four, and he also wrote for Friday the 13th and a few other films. Just a great guy. I think he did I Know What You Did Last Summer. So yeah, he was a good writer. But this film, getting out of the film, actually, when I first saw it, I was like, all right, this, I'm digging it, whatever it is. But then I got home and I laid in my bed that night, and as I was going to sleep, my mind started thinking about this movie, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this movie is shit. It's
Mhm.
actual shit." 2 hours of just someone sitting on the toilet and just letting it all out.
Oh.
Yeah, no. It's the story is terrible, the way that I won't ruin it for anybody. If you wanna see it, well, I'm not like that kind of person. I'm not going, "Oh, you should not see it, it sucks. I'm gonna ruin it for you." No. But there's just so many things in that movie that don't line up, don't add up. Uh, does not harken back to continue the Scream franchise in any good way. They
Mhm.
tried to remake their first film and it completely fell flat. Make up new terms for the film, which I cannot ruin because it's part of the way that they unleashed the film. But um, I will say that the acting is great in it. I won't take that away. It looks great. Kills are pretty cool, but the story and the way that they brought it back and just the ending, just actual poop completely. It makes me furious. Makes me so mad that this was even thought of being made. Because I was like, at first, I was like, oh, I'll give it a chance. And now I'm like, why did I give it a chance? Because now I'm just pissed off. Um, and six does the same thing to me too. I at first I was six a lot, and now I'm looking back going, that's full of shit. I was full of shit. I don't know why I thought that. Trying to, it's the beer goggles.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
love the movie, I love the franchise so much. I was like, I'm just gonna like them just because it's Scream. But
Mhm.
no, I'm not gonna do that anymore. So anyway, I think you knew that was coming, but
Yeah.
and if you know me again, you knew it was coming, but I had to expound on it, just to kind of set the record straight. If you didn't know that about me, now you do. So there you go.
Okay.
All right. So what is your next film?
Okay. My next film is one that I it traumatized me as a child. Okay. It's one that maybe not a lot of people have seen. If you're especially if you're not as old as we are, right?
Sure.
And even it's
Old as
one
I
that
am. Old as I am.
well,
You're not old.
listen, it's one that was old when I was a kid. So it's been around a long time. Even my parent it was old when my parents were kids, it was like not old old, but it was like it
It
was out a
was,
while when my parents were kids. This movie
yeah.
came out in 1946. Okay.
Wow. Going back.
Yes. Listen, let me preface this by saying I had a teacher in the 5th grade, and she was really something. All
Mm,
right. She was extremely strict. This was, the 80s in the 5th grade. Well, it would have been 92. 92. Yes, so just kidding. It was in the 90s. And so She was the kind of teacher who threw erasers at children's heads if they were talking in class. She slammed rulers down on your desk if you weren't paying attention. She was something,
Yeah.
okay? And we would get, sometimes movie days where that cart would roll into the classroom, right, with that TV strapped to the top, and you got excited because it was movie day and you weren't gonna do anything that day except watch movies. Well, she loved to show us movies that traumatized us, which I feel like was just part of her MO, right?
Mhm.
And one movie in particular that stuck with me forever was called The Yearling.
Wow.
Have you
Okay.
seen this
I have
movie?
never seen The Yearling.
Oh my goodness, I'm going to spoil it for everyone because I'm gonna tell you don't ever watch this
Oh, yeah,
movie.
do it. Just
Okay,
spoil the
do
shit
you
out of
know
it.
Old Yeller?
Yes.
Okay, same vibe. So
Really?
if yeah,
Wow.
this movie is about a little boy who rescues a fawn from the woods, right? A little baby deer, and it's
Mhm.
adorable and it's cute. And he raises this baby deer, and then it starts to get bigger and it starts to do things like get into their crops. And
Mm.
mom and dad said, you better keep him out of the crops or else. Well, he gets into the crops and mom takes a shot at him and wounds the poor baby deer. Okay.
Oh,
And
oh,
so then the child is forced to take this baby out into the, at this point, it's like almost a grown deer, right?
right,
But yearling was
right.
the idea. He's forced to take it out into the woods and do away with it because it won't stop eating their
I
crops.
have a feeling your sister hates this movie too.
Oh, for sure. I was traumatized, okay? This movie comes from a completely different time where this kind of thing was like, well, you gotta do what you gotta do to save the and but like me in 1992, okay, in the 5th grade at 10 years old I was devastated and I was horrified. And now it just pisses me off that that we were forced to watch this movie.
Right.
And so this came totally out of left field maybe, and most people have not seen it, but don't see it. I mean, it does have Gregory Peck in it. He was very popular at the time.
Great actor.
Great actor,
Yeah.
okay? But this movie is devastating. Do not watch this movie. The
Uh,
little boy then, like, runs away. He gets in a boat. He, like, sails down the river by himself because he's so upset with what they made him do.
yeah.
They made him
Wow.
do it, you know?
That's pretty rough.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really
rough.
rough, like, especially for a
It's
little
rough.
kid to deal with, you know?
Mhm. I
Well, I
was
mean,
10
same thing
years
with
old. It
Old
was like
Yeller, if you've seen Old Yeller, I mean,
yeah.
everyone if you haven't seen Old Yeller, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like,
Well,
seriously.
if you haven't seen it, then lucky you.
Lucky you, but again, it's one of those movies where, like,
Mm.
everyone and their
It's
dog especially if
absolutely
you're our age.
terrible.
If you're our age, yes. If you're younger than us,
If you're
I
our age, then,
understand.
like, adults made you watch it, not my
Yeah.
parents, but again, I watched that one in the same class.
Yeah, and that movie is
This
just
woman just wanted to traumatize us. I
yeah.
don't know, but
Well,
she was from a different time,
she
and it
may she and honestly, she may be of that same vein of, a lot of people nowadays that just don't give a shit, so,
may be, but
you know,
it was awful,
yeah.
absolutely awful, and it now thinking about it, it makes me mad. I'm like, "Why would they make a movie like that?
Oh
It's
my god,
terrible."
it's
Don't
not
and then
fair.
why would they make people watch it?
Yeah, but I told
It's
you,
awful.
I get it, that's actual shit, so
Yeah. Okay,
I'll
so
never
that's
watch it.
my next 3 are good, though.
Yeah, okay, so, alright, so here's my next pick, and this is one God, and I'm gonna get a lot of hell for this too, but you know what, it is what it is. So I was a huge fan of the original of this movie, actually the first 2 growing up, watched them all the time. Uh, the actors in it were fantastic, like, the CGI was not very bad, like, practical effects were great. Um, it's not really horror, but horror has horror elements into it. It's more horror comedy, more comedy with actually, it's more comedy with horror mixed in, let's put it that way. Both films were like that.
Hmm.
So I'm trying to kinda get away from the horror stuff. I'm not trying to go too horror in this episode on this
Mhm.
podcast. I'm trying to get I'll throw my 2 cents in about horror, but I'm trying to give more of a rounded view of who I am.
Mhm.
But 90% of me is horror, so I apologize if you don't like horror, but what's wrong with you? Um,
Hmm.
we'll talk later. But they decided to remake this movie, and they tried to go politically correct. And let me back up for a second because I am
Mhm.
definitely a liberal male. I
Mhm.
girl power. I'm all about empowering women, and I'm all about all that. The left side. Everyone knows that about me now. I used to not be, but I am now, and I've seen the light. I'm good. Um, but they try to use an old women cast in this,
Oh, I know where
and
you're going.
I watched this movie, and it literally angered me how they abused what they were trying to do, and they totally fucked it up
Mhm,
and made it a mockery almost of
mhm,
feminism, of women power, of the movie itself, and it just still to this day angers me. It's Ghostbusters 2016. Um, I'm pretty sure you already figured that out by now, but th I had such high hopes for this movie
yeah,
because I was such a fan of the first one. Like, I just
mhm,
love that first film, and of course, it is dated. There are things in that movie where they should have not done, the womanizing Bob Bill Murray,
mhm,
definitely, Peter Venkman like that. It was not needed. But back then, that's was the flavor of the month. Like that's what they
mhm,
did. But they never could have done without it. But to take what they did with this movie and literally make the women just annoying and stupid, and they tried to make them smart, but it just made them look even dumber. The storyline was trash. They tried to remake or tried to reinvent Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Like, I don't get it, man. I just don't get it. They did it much better when they came out with Afterlife, or yeah, Afterlife, and then Frozen Empire. Like the two they just made recently are
mhm.
way better. They took a whole different trajectory with it and did a great job with sequels. And this was a total remake, and it just didn't hold up. Like the best part of the entire movie was Slimer.
Mm,
Still had that same feel to him, which he was the only thing that really I liked about the whole entire movie. But
mhm.
it just made me angry that they tried to. Oh, we're going the high road, making women more. The highlight of this film. They were the lowest of the low in this film, and I don't understand why these women even stood for this crap because it's absolute bullshit. But
Yeah, see, I didn't watch that one, and the reason I didn't watch that one, I had really high hopes for it, and I was just super excited because all of the women in this movie are
that's what
fantastic,
I'm
right?
saying.
And I was so excited, and I was like, "This is gonna be great."
Yep.
And then everyone kept saying, "This movie is terrible," and so I didn't want to let myself down, so I didn't watch it,
Yeah.
um, because it just disappointed me the fact that they, like everyone said it was bad, and so it must have kinda been bad, and it just made me sad, so I didn't wanna watch it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew what you were gonna say because,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it
mean, like,
could've it had such potential.
it really did, and, like, it made me sad, but, a little bit, but it made me more mad just the fact that someone would take this franchise and just run it into the ground like this, and for the actresses involved, like, I'm mad for them,
Mhm.
because they deserve way better. Like, the script was
I mean, because
terrible,
like, what, several of
everything.
them were in Bridesmaids, which is, like,
Yeah,
an absolutely fantastic movie,
amazing
and so you
film.
thought, "Oh, it's gonna be good," and then yeah.
No, it just wasn't, and I don't know, and asking I wish I could get to them now at, like, a con and be like, "What are your thoughts on this movie?" Really hear what that because 'cause they'll tell interviewers, "Oh, we enjoy it." I wanna hear their true thoughts, and let me tell you, when you go to conventions, you actually get real thoughts because I
Mhm.
talked to a person that was in a horrible movie, and I even said, "What was up with that movie?" They go, "Listen, it was just we thought it'd be great. It turned out shit, and I hate it." So but in interviews before, this person's actually said, "Oh, I actually liked doing it a lot." Just, because you don't wanna give a movie
Yeah,
hell.
yeah.
So, but I wanna hear what they all think about this movie because I'm sure that they would agree it was not what they wanted to do. I'm sure it was fun making it,
Yeah.
but,
I
ugh,
mean, it would have to
it
be
was
with that cast, but
yeah, oh, yeah. I'm sure they had a
yeah.
blast on the set, so but anyway, yeah, I won't harp too much on this because it, literally could make me even more mad, so we'll just move on to your next pick.
Okay, my next pick is gonna give you a little piece of information about me. Um, and that is I'm not a crazy fan of movie musicals. Okay?
I know that is.
Like it's different when you go to the theater. I have been to the theater for musicals. I saw Phantom of the Opera and The Scarlet Pimpernel, Beauty and the Beast, and they were fantastic on stage.
True.
But something about that does not translate to movies for me, and it annoys the shit out of me when I have to watch a musical, okay? Now, something like Wizard of Oz is it feels a little different. It's from a different time, it's different songs, and I liked it as a kid. As a kid, I probably liked musicals a little better. But as an adult, they really annoy me and make me angry that when I'm really getting into the story, they have to stop and sing about it, okay? So,
I stubbed my toe.
here's a
Let me
movie.
sing about
Yeah,
this.
let me sing about everything.
Yep.
Here's a movie that I had not watched until recently, when my dear husband kind of made me. Okay. I liked the idea of the story. I liked the director. I liked the main actors. Um, but I had not watched it because they sing. Okay. And when I watched it, it still disappointed me. I just like it could have been such a badass and I understand that this movie, if you haven't figured it out, is Sweeney Todd, and it was
The Demon
originally
Bobber.
okay, it was originally a musical for, like, Broadway and such. Great, fantastic, I love this story, it's a cool story. And so I understand that they had to make the movie a musical as well, but personally, it made me so angry because I was like, "Can't you just do the like, can't you just do the things without singing?" And not only that, but the songs were not super catchy. They just
They weren't
didn't get
songy.
you.
They weren't
They
songy.
weren't songy, right? They weren't songy. They were just, like, singing their thoughts, like, it did it I don't know. There weren't any memorable songs. I can't sing one of the songs back to you, right? Because I don't remember them. They weren't catchy, they weren't memorable. Everything else about the movie might have been great. Tim Burton, I mean, Johnny Depp, Helena Bonham Carter, fantastic. Love them. Love Sleepy Hollow. Love everything about what they those 3 do together. Couldn't take this movie because they couldn't keep their mouth shut and they kept singing every damn thing. And, a lot of people are gonna have this has got a 7.3 on IMDb, so a lot of people are gonna disagree with me on this, but it's a personal thing about the damn singing. Just do the movie.
Yeah.
It's like my I think I get this from my grandmother because she used to always say, "It'd be a great movie if they just quit singing." Like, exactly.
You are just like her like that, so,
Exactly.
yeah.
Just stop singing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
yeah.
mean, this movie is I love it so much, and I don't mind the singing. I'm not a huge musical person,
Mhm.
but this one, for some reason, like you said, Tim Burton, uh,
I mean, it's great. The
like
look, the
Johnny Depp,
feel,
like
the
yeah,
just
the
start
aesthetic of
singing.
that movie, the way it's dark and it's I love it, just all the blood and stuff. It's just
I mean,
great.
they're cooking people, it's like,
Yeah,
come
like it's
on,
fucking
but
amazing.
they
Like
ruin it for me.
I just the singing doesn't ruin it for me. I mean, that
It ruins it.
now there are some movies that like the singing does ruin it for me, but
Mhm.
like it just this is not one of them.
Like,
I say like too much. I need to stop
if
doing
you
that.
wanna ever torture
Like,
me into telling my secrets, make me watch Mamma Mia or something like that. I'm going no and I have nothing against ABBA, I just don't want you to sing this damn stuff in the movie. You're gonna you're
I'm
gonna
not a big ABBA
torture
fan
me
either, but
into submission if you make me watch that, but,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's so my last 2 are the ones, that are people are gonna agree with me, I promise. They're
Okay.
gonna agree with
We hope that's true.
me. Mhm, mhm.
All right. Just before we move on from that movie, I just want to say to you, if you haven't seen this movie, don't let this stop you from
Don't
watching
let
this.
me stop
Don't
you.
let it because I think it's great. This movie does not make me mad.
If you like musicals,
You'll love this
if you
movie.
like Tim Burton, go ahead. Now
Seriously.
see, Nightmare Before Christmas is one of my favorite movies of all time, but somehow animated singing is different,
The music in that is it's actually songy.
and it's
You know.
songs you can sing later, and it's
Sure.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
No, I
just
feel you. I feel you.
okay,
I feel you. It's all right. It's all right.
yeah.
Anyway, all right. So my next pick is actually a dual pick, and I say that because it has 2 movies that are from the same genre and, like, even subgenre, kinda deal with, like, not the same subject matter at heart, but the same subject matter is kinda covered in both. Um, and I'll tell you what they are first, and I'll expound on why I picked these movies. Do you have any idea what this is?
Mm-mm.
So like I said, this comes out, it's gonna be what, December, let's see, 4th, right? It's Wednesday, so Sunday's the 1st, right? So
Yeah.
when is like yeah, so it's gonna be the December 4th. We're in the holiday season, the
Mhm.
Christmas season, matter of fact.
Yeah.
Not just holiday, but Christmas season. So these are 2 Christmas movies
Mm.
that I love to watch during this time. That's why this is such a weird thing. I love
Oh,
watching them, but they also make me very
I
mad.
mean,
They make me
I get
very
that.
angry. Just for the subject, what happens in the movie. But like I said, they're great movies nonetheless. But it's like it's a weird pick. These 2 movies are Jingle All the Way and Christmas with the Cranks.
Oh, okay. Okay.
These 2 movies frustrate the hell out of me, and they make me mad, and they make me angry watching them. because of the way these people act in these movies.
Oh,
I
okay.
mean, first of all, we have Jingle All the Way starring Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Sinbad. Sinbad.
Sinbad is amazing in this movie. We have Phil Hartman, Rita Wilson, Jim Belushi. It's just an all-star cast, like
Mhm.
absolutely all-star cast. And then with Christmas and the Cranks, we have Tim Allen. We and I say that because Tim Allen's kind of weird, but whatever. Jamie Lee Curtis, Dan Aykroyd,
Mhm.
Emmett Walsh, Elizabeth Franz, like Cheech Marin, Jake Busey. Oh my God, Jake Busey. Jake, we love you, buddy. But there's so many people. I mean, come on, this movie's packed with people. I could go on and on. Felicity Huffman, whatever. So these movies are star-studded. That's why I enjoy watching because they have really good acting. It's real Christmassy. It gets to Christmas. But let me tell you what happens in these films. Okay, let's just run real fast. Jingle All the Way is about a dad who forgets to buy his son the gift. Like
Mhm.
those turbo,
The gift.
turbo
Okay.
man. You gotta get the turbo man. And he forgets to get the turbo man. So, but he fights the entire movie to get this doll. And he could literally just cut his time in half if he actually were just to think half the time. But he's so wrapped up in all the bullshit in the movie that he
Mhm.
can't get this toy. And let's switch over to Christmas with the Cranks. They are literally fed up. The Cranks, you have what's the name of their characters? I can't remember. It's Luther and Nora Crank,
Mhm.
and they are very Christmassy. They love Christmas so much, but they're also fed up with a bunch of stuff that's going on. Well, their daughter decides not to come home for Christmas, and the husband has a great idea of, hey, let's go on a cruise. Since no one's going to be here,
Yeah.
nothing's going to happen. Let's go on a cruise.
Sounds good
Well,
to me.
and they are getting ready, like, they are going tanning, they're buying new clothes, they're,
Mhm.
getting ready to go out of the country.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, the daughter decides on a whim, "Hey, I'm coming home, eh." So they have to, like, and they've pissed off all their neighbors and everything, and
Mhm.
so they've alienated, oh my god, we run up on it, alienated themselves from everyone around them. So at the last minute, they have to kind of, like, reinvent Christmas and get everything. And again, they could just take one simple step and squash everything and make everything all right, but they don't, and it frustrates me so much. So both those movies, it's like they frustrate me for the fact of, like, it's simple bullshit that they could totally
Mhm.
fix, and they just don't,
Mhm.
and that's ugh. But of course, both those movies have happy endings with blah blah blah, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm not about happy ending. We all know this.
We know
I
that.
love when evil wins. I love when bad things happen. I love when people die.
Mhm.
Um, things don't run people's way because that's real life to me. Like I want to see some real life shit happen.
Yeah, I wanna escape from real life
I
too
do too,
sometimes,
but
so
also, but real life also good wins too, and sometimes it wins when
Mhm.
it shouldn't win, and we say good with quotation marks, heavy quotation marks,
Okay,
because
sure.
not what I think is good may not be the thing you think is good.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
but we'll save that for a later time. Uh,
Well, yeah, I think both of those movies really show, like, heavily the commercialism of Christmas that gets
yes.
annoying, right?
Yep.
Christmas is definitely not my favorite. It's become that way, I think, just because of the heavy commercialism,
Religious aspect,
stress, the
just like
stress of, like, being, "Oh, it has to be the perfect Christmas," and the social media doesn't help that. It's like,
you know,
"Look at us in our Christmas jammies, and we're going to look at Christmas lights, and we're go" and so it feels like there's this pressure to have just this perfect, picture perfect Christmas, and it's like, I don't know, that's why I've always liked Thanksgiving better because you just get together and you spend time with family, and it's not about
but
buying the
even
newest thing, buying the next thing,
yeah, but
having your
even
kids
if
disappointed if you don't,
I know,
like,
but right now with social media, even Thanksgiving is getting that way because,
Thanksgiving's getting a little
like,
bit
I
that
was
way,
at
but
work last night, kind of scrolling through Instagram, and all these people are posting their big tables, all their food, and
mhm.
oh, look what we're having. We made this. We made, and I'm like, I'm happy for them, but also I'm like, I can't have that, and I'm mad.
Well, and then there are
Like,
people that absolutely don't get to have that,
right, right, yeah,
maybe they're alienated from their family for some reason or another, maybe they can't
they're
afford a big
homeless.
feast
Yeah,
like
they're
that,
homeless,
or
or they
like,
don't have
yeah.
the money. Yeah,
So it just gets to be too much. I love Thanksgiving more because it's about just getting together with family and spending time together and not really worrying about, did I buy enough things or are the children going to be mad because they didn't get that or this or whatever.
yeah,
Um, So,
But
yeah,
yeah,
I definitely get where those 2 movies would frustrate you a
they
lot.
really frustrate
Yeah.
me. But let me tell you, Arnold's great in that film. Again, I don't want to take away from the acting in these 2 films because
Mhm.
they're acted perfectly. The way that and I think that's what angers me so much is that they're so
Yeah.
good at that it just makes me go, "Ah, just fucking do that," or, do this or do that and get over this shit. Um, but yeah, I definitely hear your thoughts on this out there. Let me know if these movies, if you don't see eye to eye with me, or if you agree with me. I want to know because these
Mhm.
movies definitely get under my skin. But again, at the same point, I'll probably watch these films this December
You probably
just
will. We
because
did last year.
I'm a masochist. I like that shit.
Mhm.
So it is what it is. We won't go too much farther into this
Mhm.
because it could be. We could talk forever about this.
Alright, speaking of Arnold,
Oh,
my next movie
Arnold
contains
making
Arnold.
another appearance. Yeah.
Okay, my next movie contains Arnold,
Oh
alright?
Lord, Jesus.
Um,
I think I know what
and
this is actually.
he disappoints me, he disappoints me.
I think I know what it is.
Um, okay. So, we talked about this particular character. We talked about how much, Wes here loves this particular character. Um, and this movie let everyone down, okay? Everyone.
Maybe
I
not. Maybe I know what this is.
my sister, I spoke to my sister, and she's a huge movie person, like, went even studied film in college, and, like, she's a huge movie person. We will eventually have her on as a guest star, right, to
Kate,
talk
we love
about
you.
movies. Kate. Um, she was like, "Oh, I need to come on and talk about" when she heard me talking about The Crow, she said, "I need to come on and talk about what your bedroom looked like when you were a teenager," and I was like, "Oh, no, you don't. You really don't."
I need
Teen
pictures of
Beat
that. I need some
no,
pictures of
well,
it,
I probably have some pictures, but Teen Beat literally threw up in my bedroom, all right?
literally.
But one of my favorites of all time was Chris O'Donnell. Chris O'Donnell was the
Oh,
man,
I know what this is
okay?
now. Okay,
Chris
yeah.
O'Donnell was so hot, right? I just loved him, okay? And so a little movie called Batman Forever introduced us to, right? That's the
Chill
first one
out.
he was in. No, Batman Forever um was the first one he was in, correct? He showed up in that.
No, no, I thought it was Batman and Robin, I thought.
I think he was in Batman. Was he not in Batman Forever?
I thought that was Val Kilmer, wasn't it?
Val Kilmer is in
Oh,
yes, he is
I thought
Batman.
oh, I thought you meant okay, I thought you
Um,
meant okay, never mind.
let me check my facts
I thought
real
you meant
quick
something else,
on
never
this
mind.
one.
I digress. You're
Um,
right, you're right.
yes, Chris
He
O'Donnell
wasn't in
first
Alive,
appeared as
yeah,
Robin
right,
in Batman Forever. That's not the
right.
movie we're talking about right
No,
now.
we're
I
not.
like Val Kilmer.
Yeah,
I
me too.
liked him as Batman, which might be an unpopular opinion, but I liked that movie.
Yeah.
It was good.
I
I
mean,
liked it.
it was no Batman or Batman
It was
Returns,
not.
but
It's definitely not. It's
yeah,
on the towards the bottom of the list if you're
yeah,
talking about Batman
yeah, of
movies.
course.
But the one that I'm talking about is Batman and Robin.
Fucking Joel
Okay?
Schumacher, man. God
Batman
damn.
and Robin
Yeah.
let me down so hard. I mean, I loved Chris O'Donnell in Batman Forever. I was like, "Ooh, he's in this one, and it's called Batman and Robin, so he's gonna have a huge part in this." And then fucking George Clooney. Okay, listen, he's fine in some things. I'm not a super huge George
I
Clooney
like
fan.
him. I think he's
He's
great.
fine.
Yeah.
He's fine. But he was a terrible Batman.
He
And
was.
Batman was such an asshole to Robin the entire time.
No, and, he was a great Bruce Wayne. He was a terrible
Mm,
Batman.
mm,
I think he was a great Bruce Wayne.
I didn't like him at all in this movie at all, at all.
I didn't like him, but
Um,
I think it was
he
better
was an
though.
asshole to Robin, and so, I mean, I immediately didn't like him as Batman because he was an asshole to Robin.
True.
Um, Mr. Freeze is an amazing character,
Yeah.
right? And one of the shows did it great. Who did it? The Flash had Mr. Freeze, I
Yes.
believe, and that was great.
Yeah.
Like, it was a
It was different.
great
It was a different
portrayal
take.
of Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm. Uh, but this one was awful,
Yeah, it was pretty terrible.
awful. And I love Uma Thurman, and
Yeah.
her Poison Ivy was, pretty good, but Bane, are you kidding me?
But he was honest, the way he
Ugh,
looked was way more to the comic book. So
maybe,
they were trying to go
but,
for
like, he
which
was
I give it
so
to him, but
annoying.
yeah, he was very annoying though, you're right.
And then Alicia Silverstone could have been a cool Batgirl. I just feel like
Oh, I mean,
overall,
I thought she was great, but that's just
of
because I had
course,
a
because
huge
you
crush
probably
on her.
felt about her how I felt about Chris
Exactly. I
O'Donnell,
had a
right?
poster of Blue Silverstone on my wall,
I
yeah, in
mean,
high
yeah.
school, yeah, so
I loved her in that time period. Like, Clueless was one of my favorite movies of all time,
yep,
right?
same.
I love her.
Yep.
But I feel like this movie let all of them down.
I
It let
agree.
all of them down,
I agree, and let us
and it
down too.
sucked so bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it let the fans down most of all, I
it
think,
looked like
so.
a damn circus. I don't know what
Joel
it looked like.
Schumacher.
The
I'm telling you, it's
fucking
Joel Schumacher.
circus,
That's
right,
what
is what
that's who
it looked
screwed
like.
it up.
And so I think a lot of people agree with me. According to IMDb, it got a 3.8 out
Yeah,
of 10 rating, so I'm
terrible.
assuming a lot of people do agree with me. It was the worst Batman movie that exists, and it disappointed me, and it made me so mad because I feel like my boy had potential,
Yep.
and they ruined it.
Yeah, see that well, here's something I was gonna tell you something right here that I think that even Batman the movie back in, like, the '60s was better than
Yeah,
Batman and Robin,
and
so
those were
and I didn't like that at
really
all. Like, I didn't like that.
cheesy
That TV
and,
show was
like,
not my favorite at all,
terrible,
so,
but,
yeah.
like,
Even that
yeah.
was better just because,
Mhm.
so,
Yep, yep.
uh, I watched this movie a few times just for the fact that of what it was, but, like, it was goofy, cheesy, stupid, campy. Some of the acting was good in it, some was not. It just depends on what it
Yeah,
was, but
I watched it a lot just because of Chris O'Donnell. I mean,
yeah,
I loved him that
yeah.
much, but, like, it was awful.
Excuse me.
It's
But yeah,
awful.
but yeah, I totally agree with you on that one.
Mhm.
Completely agree.
See? And I think a lot of people will. And then
Um,
my last one, I think a lot of
I think
people
my
will
last one's
agree
gonna
with.
be good too. I'm saving this for the last. But all
Let
right,
me get a little
so
refill if you hear something over
yeah,
here.
yeah, go for it. So my next film, next to last, is one that ooh, ding,
Oh, that was sorry about that. Didn't
start
mean to.
fighting, fight. Um, I've talked about this a lot on my other podcast, way too much actually, and I really shouldn't be bringing it up in this. But again, like I said at the first of the episode, I'm being true to myself, so I have to be true to myself. So it just is what it is, guys. Just hang in with me. So I'm not a huge fan of this franchise in the first place, but this movie definitely left me with a bad taste in my mouth. You know what I'm talking about?
I don't
All
yet.
right,
Mm-mm.
you will in a second. Um, the main character in this franchise, and it's not even in all the films, but most of the films. It's just he's overblown, he's oversaturated,
Mm.
uh, he's put on a pedestal too much, in my opinion, and
Mm.
that's a very unpopular opinion, especially in the community I'm
Mhm,
in.
mhm.
But you go through what is it, 12 films with this character, right? 11, maybe 11 or 12. I can't remember the exact amount, but there's one of the films that has nothing to do with him at all. But you get to the end, and we're kind of keeping in the same vein with Jamie Lee Curtis.
I definitely know now.
Halloween ends. This movie ends off this franchise, and I think we're talking about doing more, but this to me was like the end of this whole thing. This movie to me should have been. Here's what it should have been. It should have been a game of cat and mouse the entire movie between Laurie Strode
Mhm,
and Michael Myers.
mhm,
Should have been like that. Should have been a cat and mouse the entire. You could throw other things in there too, but that would have been the main subject line of the whole movie was them, like he's stalking her, and then all of a sudden he's stalking or she's stalking him, and like they go back and then they meet in, like the last half an hour. They just have this epic battle
mhm,
of just multiple like it was just it been really in my mind. I was like, this could be so fucking cool. Instead, they take this new character, Corey Cunningham, and he's played by Rohan Campbell. Now, Rohan, I'm not gonna disparage you. You did a good job with acting, decent job. I won't say you did great, but you did a decent job at acting. Uh, but why? So they follow him. Start of the movie, they kind of follow him in this tragedy that happens, and they kind of follow the fact of what happens if evil. They're saying like, what happens if evil gets into one person? Well, we already have that with Michael Myers, so I put
mhm,
it in someone else. Makes no sense. Um, and then they totally ignore the whole thing of Laurie and Michael until the very end of the film, and they have like this little 5 minute little fight, and it's over. And I'm like, what the fuck? I like you're end up the entire franchise with this bullshit. Like, I get people saying, oh, they're trying to do like an anthology type thing, or they're trying to go. No, okay, I get it. I get what you're saying, but I wholeheartedly disagree with you.
mhm,
It should have been Michael and Laurie, throughout the entire film to end off this franchise. You started off that way, you end
mhm,
off that way. I think that,
mhm,
and they could have made it not a remake of the first movie because it'd been completely different. These are two characters that have been through so much together. Um, I mean, generations have gone now. 2 or 3 generations have gone past now, between these 2. I guess 2, I guess, if you're gonna get really technical. But it just infuriates me, the fact that they decided to fuck this movie up so bad. David Gordon Green did a decent job of the first 2. The 2018 was really, really good. Second, Kills was, take it or leave it. It is what it is. It's not bad, it's not great, whatever. It is what it is. Uh, but this movie, how it ends, it got a 5. Literally, it really is a very accurate way to describe this movie. Middle of the pack. It's so mid. It's ugh, yeah. I just want to throw up when I think about it. But anyway, I won't harp on it too much more because it's just not great.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm not a huge Michael Myers fan. I mean, I like the movies we've watched, most of them. They're fine. But that one I was really disappointed with. I feel like if they wanted to pass it off to someone else to continue Halloween or whatever, they could have done that in a different way. I just really wanted to see more Michael.
Yep.
And I'm sure that's how, I mean, I know you love Halloween 3. It doesn't have Michael in it, but people expect Michael in a Halloween
Yeah,
movie.
I'm like
They
everyone
just do,
else. So
right?
yeah, I get that.
They just do. So when that, yeah, that was a bit of a disappointment to me as well. And I'm not a huge horror fan or a huge Halloween fan.
Right.
So yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So definitely, this movie infuriates the hell out of me. But anyway, it is what it is. It exists, and I can't do anything about it. And a lot of people like it, so that's fantastic. I'm glad you like it, and I just cannot do. I can't deal with it. I just can't deal with it. Again, movie looks great. Most of the actors are great in it. Um, Acting is mediocre sometimes, but it's horror films. What do you expect?
Hmm.
That's it. I'm done with that. Now we are to our final. I don't want to say number one, but
No, it's probably not my number.
it's
It's just
it's a
what I
movie
saved
though.
for last. And I like said, oh, a lot of people are going to agree with me, but the truth is probably more people agreed with my last one than this one. And
Sure.
according to IMDb, this one does have a 6.5 out of 10.
So that's on the more correct
That's a
side.
lot more than my last pick,
Yeah,
but this one did infuriate me. Um,
yeah,
my dad was always a huge sci-fi fan. He loved sci-fi. He loved Star Trek, all the things.
right.
We watched the original Star Wars from a young age,
Mhm.
right? From a young age. I just remember taking a weekend and we watched all three straight through, right? In a whole day. It was a
Mhm.
marathon. It was so much fun. I absolutely loved them. It was like he loved them. It was just this thing that we had. Okay. Then when they re-released the original three into the theaters, myself, my dad, and my sister went to see all three of them in the theaters,
Wow,
right? When they re-released them,
that's pretty cool.
all three of them, we went to see in anticipation for episode one, The Phantom Menace. Okay. This
Oh,
one came out
wow.
in 1999. I would have been, I don't know what month it came out in,
I
but I
got
would have either been a
I got married in 1999 the first time. Wow.
well, I would have either been a junior or a senior, depending on what month it was, right?
Mhm.
So I went to see this with my family. We were so excited. I went to see it with my dad. Um, and listen, here's something about me. I have a weird sensory thing. Okay, I have a weird thing about things being too loud or too scratchy or too. Um, Jar Jar Binks annoyed the fuck out of me. Annoyed the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
And he ruined that entire movie. Not only that, but I like kids, okay? I worked at an elementary school. I love kids. I love hanging out with kids. They're fun.
fuck
They're
those
cute.
kids. I'm just kidding.
I know how you feel about it, but like I love kids. But again, little Anakin was kind of fucking annoying.
Very fucking annoying.
And like when you come from the original three, which are perfection in my opinion, besides the Ewoks are a little cheesy, but the
It is
other
what it
two,
is.
perfection. Um, and then you give us this. I was very disappointed. I saw it more than once in the theater. I saw it with my dad first and was very disappointed and wanted to gouge my ears out when Jar Jar was on anytime Jar Jar Binks was on the screen. and then I had to go with my friends to see it. They were all going to see it, and of course, I didn't wanna be left out, so I went, and I ended up sleeping through it.
I
I fell
mean,
asleep in
at least
the
you were there, right?
I was there, but I
Yeah, for
was
support.
asleep,
Yeah,
because I just couldn't handle it.
right.
Um, I I have maybe seen the second one, episode 2. I don't remember what that one's called. Clone There was a Clone Wars in there. I don't know. Didn't I maybe saw that one once. I have not seen episode 3. That's how
Really?
badly episode 1 messed me up.
Episode 3 is actually pretty good.
I did not see episode 3. So all this about, all the things Anakin did and all the bad things I don't know.
Yeah.
I did not watch it because I couldn't get past episode 1. It infuriated me.
So you
And
did you see Clone Wars?
like I said, maybe once. I don't
Okay,
remember a thing about it except a big field of these droid things.
okay.
That's all I remember.
I mean, yeah, yeah.
But Jar Jar Binks is the worst thing to ever happen to movies, and I would put a bullet in my head if I had to watch him for very long. I put a bullet in his head if I
Yeah,
had to
I mean,
watch him for very long.
it's definitely one of
I
those things,
I think they were catering to children.
definitely.
I think this entire movie was how much product can we put out in the stores to sell to kids because that's where our money is. Okay. So I think that's what they were centered on,
Yeah.
rather than making a good story and like and a good
Well,
prequel to
it's
the
all about
originals.
marketing. It's
It
all about,
is, it is.
so it's all about
And,
what and
the whole pod racing thing and, like, there were games out for the pod racing and all the things,
yeah.
but it was just, like, it was not on par with the original 3.
No, not even
Now,
close.
the new ones I liked. The last one was slightly disappointing, but I loved what's the first one that came out with Ray? I loved that one.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
But these
What
3
was
were
that one
very
called? I can't remember
disappointing
what
to
that
me.
was called.
I will
Star
find out.
Wars,
We'll find out, but,
No Way Home or
No Way Home. No, it's not No Way Home. That was not
Spider-Man
it.
in Star Wars 7.
I'll just type in Star Wars and see what we
Yeah, I
get here.
forgot what it's called.
Um,
It's not The
oh
Last Jedi, 'cause
gosh.
it's the last one.
No, The Last Jedi was the last
Yeah, what
one.
was
The Force
The
Awakens.
Force
I
Awakens?
liked that one.
That's
I
actually pretty
liked
good.
that one.
And Rogue One is also amazing. That takes place
Rogue One was
between
great. It was a little
3 and
little bit of a
4.
separate one, but
Yeah,
it was fantastic.
yeah.
I liked Solo.
Solo's
Okay.
yeah, Solo's pretty good.
Um,
Oh, yeah, I'll agree with you.
but the
Also, I heard about
Phantom
what
Menace
the
was
Acolyte, is that what it's called? That new TV
the
show they came out
show.
with?
I haven't seen that
Oh
one
my
either.
god, people tore that a
I'm
new one.
way behind on
Like,
all the Star
wow, but
Wars
don't I've heard
shows.
don't watch that one at all. That's just what I've
I
heard, but
watched The Mandalorian in the beginning, but then I fell
yeah,
off of that one
I
and
didn't
I
watch
haven't seen the last season or 2, I don't know.
yeah, I didn't
But,
either, so
so much came out. So
Star
much
Wars
of
is
those,
heavy
so much Marvel came out, I can't even
now.
keep up. I can't keep
God.
up.
Disney just
Um,
had a big thing with, "Let's just put out as much content as
Disney's
possible."
like, "Let's just do it," and I don't have time to even keep up with all that. So
No.
anyway,
Yeah.
Phantom Menace it sucks, and I don't like it, and it made me mad.
Yeah. There you go.
Made me
I'm with you. I can argue that because that movie to me, I was excited to see what they were come out with, starting off all this stuff, that was like the
mad.
movie to start it
Mhm.
all at the time. And I thought,
There
they're
was
gonna
so much hype.
yeah, like, it was just like, the little Anakin, like, what are you gonna see? And it was yeah, he was annoying, it was bullshit, and it was just like you said, Jar Jar just threw me out of it, like, completely. I was like, "This guy is a fucking idiot."
And he was meant
So,
to make the kids laugh, but,
yeah, and he didn't
I
make me
feel like
laugh.
the first 3 movies were not really for kids, so why are these? Why are
Yeah,
we catering to kids in these?
I don't even know. But, I mean,
Money, that's why.
now, of course, for like 4, 5, and 6 are definitely catered towards kids, more teenagers, but, like,
Yeah,
not adults, but, like
teenagers and, young adults,
yeah,
like yeah.
that was what it's geared towards, so, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their whole thinking was, but, they failed, and that's okay because, like I said, it exists,
George
and it is
Lucas
what it
doesn't
is.
give a shit, he's got
No,
enough money, he doesn't
and if
care.
he did give a shit, he would have stopped that
Yeah.
shit, but he didn't, so
No,
whatever,
he
George.
directed it, produced it,
Yeah, whatever,
wrote
George.
it.
Whatever, George.
Whatever, George.
George of the jungle. Whatever, George. Get out of here, George. Anyway, all right, anything else you wanna add before we move on?
No, that was it.
All
Fuck
right.
Jar Jar.
Well, you are definitely not gonna agree with my last pick.
Oh,
I'm
no.
talking you're gonna
Oh,
see you don't need my
no.
glasses. Don't need my glasses because you're
I
gonna see this.
can't
Okay.
see in your
Okay. I just wanna make
glasses.
sure
I'm an old lady. I
because
cannot see.
I don't want you to see because I have it pulled up on IMDb right now just to make
I
sure I
can
have
see
everything
blurs in there.
blurs. So you like this movie.
Oh, okay. Well, we
Um,
disagree a lot.
even your mom likes this movie, and I don't
Mm,
understand why.
okay.
A lot of people love this movie. This is, I mean, like IMDb gave it what? It's a 7.0.
Oh, I know what this is.
Yeah, a lot of
No one's
people.
gonna agree with
No
you.
one. I'm on my own. I am on an
You are
island
on an
in the
island.
middle of the ocean on this movie because I'm telling you, I met a couple people that agree with me, but
Mm, the
it is
majority do not.
yeah, it's very very few. Um, I like my movies to have a point. I like them to have good acting. I like them to have uh, it does. I like them to look good. I like them to
This movie has all of those things.
no, it really doesn't. The cinematography should be good. Okay, I will give you the lead actor. I do like the lead actor because he is a really funny dude. And again, I have no idea why he did this film because it makes him look like a total douche.
No, it doesn't.
It does. It makes him
No.
look like a total idiot. It was
This is
way
what endeared
below.
him to
It was
everyone.
way below what he was actually capable of because I've seen him in way better stuff. Um, but and your son even likes this movie, and I'm
My
like,
son loves this
yeah,
movie.
and it definitely does tell exactly the kind of humor that you and he and your mom likes. Just, but she also doesn't like Dumb and Dumber, which I thought if she likes this movie, why don't you like Dumb and Dumber? But hey,
I don't
whatever.
know.
A little movie called Napoleon Dynamite. This movie infuriates me almost as much as Scream Five. Like
Ooh.
this movie is about nothing. Okay. People say, well, what do you think about Seinfeld? Okay,
Seinfeld's terrible. I
Seinfeld
can't
had a
watch
point.
Seinfeld.
See, and that's where
Mm-mm.
that's funny because I think Seinfeld people don't like this, but I think
Jerry
I'm not gonna say
Seinfeld
that as a
annoys
blanket
me.
statement. I know,
Mm-mm.
but like I like Seinfeld because it was a TV show about nothing, but it was actually about something. This
Sure.
movie was literally about nothing, about a bunch of people, kids acting like a bunch of idiots with no point
They're
to the
so
movie.
funny.
There's no
So
point. There's no
funny.
point to any of this. I'm watching little clips of it right now, and
Yeah.
like it's just him hitting each other and him dancing like a
Oh my God,
dumbass
it's
in
so
some,
good.
and I say talent show. There's no talent in this movie whatsoever. It's a bunch of bullshit.
He's talented. That dance, his
But like,
dance moves are
oh
talented.
my god, whatever. It's dumb as shit.
It's amazing.
Like it literally if I was okay, the only way I can watch this movie is if I was baked or drunk out of my mind. Like I'm almost at the brink of like either
Hmm.
passing out or like seeing another plane somewhere. Like it's just so dumb. It's so
It's
ridiculous. It's
not.
so like bad acted. It looks
It's
terrible.
supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be dry and sarcastic and
But
just,
okay, I like dry humor, but this is not
like
dry. This is no humor at all. Like
it's supposed to be
don't give
monotone.
dry humor a bad
No,
name
it's supposed to be like
because like The
this.
Office is dry humor and that does it perfectly.
This is supposed to be that way, and it's
And it
perfection.
fails
No,
completely in my eyes. I
you're
hate
the
this
only
movie.
one that
It
agrees
makes
with
me
that.
mad. It makes me angry. It makes me infuriated that this was even made to be a movie. Like it doesn't even deserve to have that title put on
Mm.
it. Um, absolutely terrible. I don't want to talk about it anymore
Well, the
because
thing
I don't want to
is,
give it any more notoriety or
not only that, but it was like the budget
podcast
versus
time.
how much money it made.
I don't give a fuck how
I
much it made.
mean, come on.
People watch a piece of shit on a stick twist around. So
No.
yeah, that's what it was. It was a piece. It was a turd stuck on a stick, twirling around. And ooh, so look, I can see
No.
the creases in it. Look, there's some corn. It's so
You're
funny. Whatever.
so
So
wrong.
fucking stupid. God, this movie's so dumb. It's
No,
just I
it's
will never,
amazing.
ever, ever. I've watched the first half, and I literally go, I got to turn this off, or I'm going to die of
No.
stupidity, literally.
No, it's
So
amazing.
yeah, so you
I
think all
could
you want
literally
to,
watch it. Like my son and I have watched it probably 3 times this last
and
year
that's what like
together.
how long is this movie?
Not very long.
You've wasted what 4.5 hours of your life watching this movie?
No.
Totally,
No.
completely pointless.
Totally worth it.
Completely
Totally worth it.
pointless.
Makes me laugh every time.
It's dumb. It's
No.
the dumbest thing ever. But like I said, I'm in the minority, so whatever. It is what it is.
Gosh. Yeah. No, I don't.
Yeah, oh, please don't stop
I don't
saying
know what's
that.
wrong with you.
It's dumb. It's like a bad vlog, is what it is. It's a terrible, terrible
We
vlog.
won't talk about well, maybe eventually we will talk about one of
Oh
your
yeah.
favorite movies that I can't stand,
Oh, we of course we
I
will.
think is dumb.
And I think we need to cover TV shows too that we
We
like or
do need to
dislike.
cover TV
So
shows,
because
an
there's definitely a
episode
lot of
for
TV
TV
shows, and just
shows.
talking
I
about it
think
in
so.
general. But
Mhm.
anyway, so there's our top fives.
Well,
That's
yeah. I mean, I probably could have thought of a few more, but, like,
well, I do have a couple of
I
honorable mentions.
I don't know. I mean, I can look and see if I have some honorable mentions, but here's the thing. I'm old and I forget all the movies I've ever seen.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just I mean, I've
So
seen so many movies, like, I can't remember half of them, honestly,
I've
so,
literally been using a random movie generator just to pull up movies
yeah.
randomly at whatever, so that I could just put them back in my brain
Right.
because I'm like, "Oh, yeah, that one. Oh, yeah, I haven't seen that one in a while. Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't seen that one in a
I
while."
get you, I
And
get
there are
you.
some movies that I had on my list that I'm saving for, like, if in case we do a most annoying movie of
Yeah,
all
oh,
time,
there's definitely some annoying
because I've got
this'll
some that
go
are
right on the list.
annoying,
This'll go right on the
and
list,
I
honestly.
pulled them right out of my list because I'm like, "Oh, those are annoying. They don't anger me so much as they just annoy the
But
hell
see,
out of
this
me."
annoys and angers me, so, anyway,
Um,
alright, well, if do you have some?
I might have a I might be able to come up with something. Okay.
Alright, I'll go through my 2 real fast while you're thinking
Yeah.
about your 2. So, 2 movies that just make me mad, um, and I love this film. Again, there's another film I love, but there's a certain part in it that I hate, and it makes me incredibly sad, and I hate him for it. I really hate him for it. Um, this was one of those movies where people, like, in the movie, they cheered and literally out loud in the movie on a lot of certain points.
Hmm.
But I guarantee you there wasn't a dry eye in that film when this fucking thing happened.
Mm.
I'm talking about Avengers: Endgame,
Oh God.
and the scene I'm talking about is the very almost not the very last scene. Maybe like the last like 15 minutes. The scene where Tony Stark, Iron
Mhm.
Man, is
Mhm.
taken from us
Yeah.
by the Avengers or the Marvel Universe. I'm a huge Iron Man fan. Like
Mhm. We talked about that. Yeah.
my wedding ring literally has the arc reactor on it,
Mhm.
and it says "I love you 3000" on
Yeah.
the inside. So like,
Mhm.
I love, love, love Tony Stark and Iron Man, and to see him die. Now, of course, when he died a hero, complete hero. He's the savior of all mankind. Period. Like Jesus, you know, just like Jesus. Like nothing was
Sure.
different. It was exactly like Jesus.
Sure.
Tony Stark, Jesus, same character.
Yeah.
I think Tony Stark was even in the Bible. I think so
Yeah.
somewhere.
Mm,
Um,
I'm not sure about that,
I
but
mean, I'll look that up later.
okay.
But that when I say anger, see, that's why I took it off my list because it really doesn't make me mad, but it also makes me mad. Like
Mm.
that they would kill off my favorite character. But
Mhm.
at the same point, it was just what it was.
See,
You
that one
know,
doesn't make me mad.
it makes me mad.
I expected some people to die. You just
He's
had
not
to.
Iron Man.
Yeah.
Like he was one of the
I felt like
OGs,
he was
man.
kind of done, and I felt like I knew one of the originals would go.
I thought he'd be Cap. I thought he'd be
I
Cap.
didn't think it would be Thor because he's a
No,
god, so he
you
really
can't
can't.
kill him.
I liked Cap's ending. I love Cap as a character, but I liked his
And
ending
in the
because,
middle, he died too, so I mean, you can't
well,
really
he
say
was
it didn't.
old,
Yeah,
he was, yeah, but
yeah,
I liked it. It was okay with
yeah.
me
But
that he was kind of retiring,
yeah,
but
he died natural causes though.
mhm.
Like Iron Man was literally
But I
taken.
mean, you've got to look at where
You
he
know.
came from.
Yeah, I know. I
Where
know.
he came from, it was like for Cap to have done that, it would have been like, "Oh yeah, of course Cap did that.
Yeah.
Of course he did."
But yeah,
That's who he was
his
the
arc
entire
was
time.
amazing though.
But for Tony to start where he did and to end where he did, I mean, come
Yeah. He
on.
sacrificed himself
You
for the
could not have
entirety
picked
of
a better
humanity.
character
I know,
for
but it still
that
made
to
me mad
happen.
though. I just,
I
seeing him
understand
die
it made
was
you mad.
so hard to
I bawled
watch.
my eyes out. My poor son,
Yeah,
that's his favorite Marvel character. He
yeah,
bawled his eyes out. We bawled our eyes out together. It's
yeah,
terrible, but still,
yeah,
it was I feel like it was necessary.
yeah.
It was what was
And like I
necessary.
said, it made me more sad, than mad. So I couldn't really put it on my list. So, but I would want to bring that up. And one more that makes me pissed off. That so much potential was in this movie, and it just squandered it all. Uh, Second one was way better. Still wasn't great, but way better. Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah.
This movie was not great. The highlight, of course, was Harley Quinn. Jared Leto's Joker in this movie, atrocious. I know. He was based on the comic books.
Mhm.
I know. Don't tell me that. But he just played it horribly.
Yeah.
I understand it was from the comic, but he played it horribly. Jared Leto ruined that role. It wasn't the Joker. It was Jared Leto. And I love Jared Leto. I don't get me wrong, but he ruined it though. And but he redeemed himself in the Snyder cut of
Justice
Justice
League.
League. So I won't ruin that at all for you. If you haven't seen that, if you haven't seen that movie, go watch that movie. It's 4 hours long, but totally fucking worth it. So go watch it.
Okay, I can say I think I feel like I watched Justice League, but I don't remember anything about it.
Not that one, I know for sure.
The first one?
You probably watched the Joss Whedon version, which is bullshit.
I don't know.
Absolute bullshit.
I feel like I tried to start it, maybe I didn't. I don't know. Everyone
I
was so
have it on
disappointed in
Blu-ray,
it
so we're good.
that I don't feel like I didn't watch it. Because everyone was so disappointed in it.
And we talking about, do you want the
No, no,
OG
no,
Justice League?
I'm talking
Oh,
about the
Suicide Squad?
Suicide
Okay,
Squad,
okay,
not
okay.
Justice League. I said
Okay.
Justice League, I meant Suicide Squad. I've seen the original Justice League,
Yeah,
not the Zack Snyder, but I need to see the Zack Snyder. No,
yeah.
Suicide Squad. I feel like maybe I watched it once through. I don't remember it. It was not super memorable. So I kind of get that.
Right.
I think that's on a lot of people's lists of like disappointments. Um, yeah, so I get that.
Yeah.
One of my honorable mentions was a good movie, but the end pissed me off, so I took it from my list. You love this movie, absolutely love this movie, but the end really pissed me off, and it
Oh,
did not piss you off,
I think I know what it is.
and that's The Mist.
Yes.
It's
I
a
knew
great
it.
movie overall, but, like, when you get done
Oh.
and you're like, "All of that was for nothing," you're just like,
No, I mean,
"What?"
spoiler alert, if you haven't seen that movie before, go watch it before we
Go
spoil it.
watch it. I
Yeah.
just
But, I mean, we're gonna spoil it right here because we just have to. So if you
I
haven't
mean, the
watched it,
end is
the end, and I'll be general about this, I won't be
uh-huh.
specific, but, like, they think that the end is coming,
Mhm.
and the dad takes steps to keep his promise to his child,
Mhm.
which is a very, very important thing to do, especially
Yeah.
in this situation. So I can't fault the guy for doing what he does, but, like,
Yeah.
damn, like, damn. And it is such an impactful movie, like, it hits you right in the heart,
Uh-huh.
like, it's almost like, Mike Tyson punching you right in the heart, like,
And I
that's what
was
it
like,
feels like.
"What the fuck
Yeah. So
just
definitely
happened?"
go watch that movie because it is fucking amazing.
That made me mad. And then here's another one. This one also would probably go on my, like, made me cry a lot,
Yeah.
list, but it pissed
But don't say that.
listen.
If it's gonna make you cry a lot, we're gonna come out later on.
No, but it made me pissed more than I can think of a lot more
Okay,
movies that made me
okay.
cry.
Alright.
This one made me pissed off overall because it didn't need to happen.
Okay.
It didn't need to happen, and that's Turner and Hooch.
Oh,
Hooch did not have to die. Why? Why?
yeah, it really was kinda
Why?
pointless. It really was.
It
Like, you think
didn't
about the
make
movie,
any
yeah.
sense. It didn't have to happen
Yeah, it was
for the
kinda
plot of the
pointless.
movie. He could have gotten injured, and we all could have been sad and been like, "Oh, no, I hope
Yeah,
he
because
makes it,"
just
and then
because
he
you
could have
shoot a
made it.
dog doesn't mean that he's gonna
Yeah,
die. Yeah, I
then he
agree.
could have made it, but he
But
fucking didn't.
but it makes it more impactful that he died, so I guess that's why,
No. It made me
so
so mad.
and now Kate right now is if she's
Ugh.
listening, he's going,
Kate is like,
"No,
"Yes, that's my girl. I
fuck
hate that
that."
one too." Like, yeah.
But it's true, you can't deny the fact that someone or an animal dying definitely has more of an impact on
It
you.
does.
It definitely does. That's all I'm saying, and I'm
It
not saying it's
does.
right or wrong, I'm just saying it just is what it is.
I'm
So
not somebody who my sister goes to doesthedogdie.com before she
right.
watches any
Oh, of
movie.
course.
I don't do that, but I do get pissed off if there's like just a senseless
Right, no, I agree.
killing of an animal. It just makes me mad.
I agree,
I
I'm the
handle it
same
a
way.
little better than she does, but this girl's a vegetarian and everything.
Yeah.
So it's like this movie pissed me off. And again, for it to be kind of a marketed towards children movie,
Oh,
like,
it was definitely a kid.
ugh,
I saw it in the theater as a kid, so
ugh.
yeah. I cried
Um,
my eyes out,
I
yeah.
cried, and it could go on the cry list, but I have a lot more that could go on there. But no, it pissed me off. I'm like, that was not necessary.
Right.
That's not necessary.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
You know? Anyways, yeah.
Well, I think we're leaving this show a little bit more pissed off than we started, you know? But we hope you enjoyed
Yeah.
that.
Now for next time,
Yes. Oh, next time, I forgot.
um,
We gotta spin the wheel to see what and we haven't added all the ones on there yet. Shoot,
no, we still have a few more
I
ideas.
guess I should have done that.
Um,
Well, but it's okay. We'll just spin it for what we have right now,
uh-huh.
and we'll add them later on.
But okay,
What?
nothing.
What?
I have a feeling I might know what this ends up on.
Okay. So we have right now we have oh, I'm getting a lot of pop-ups here. Oh, ABG is not proud of me right now.
Uh-oh.
Oops. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 8 possible things.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just spin the wheel and see what we land on for next time.
Mm-hmm.
Excited about this?
Yeah,
Why do you think it's gonna be something? Why do you mean? What do you mean?
because
What? I don't know what you're talking about.
yes, we do.
Whatever. All right, so I took Mad off the list. So
Okay.
here we go. We're gonna spin it. And let's see what it's gonna be. And we are going to end up on ooh. This is actually a really good one right here. Oh, wow. You want to make a guess on what it is? Can you hold my glasses?
No,
I think you're gonna like it then.
we talked about one, but okay, you totally
No,
forgot about that.
no, we're
Yeah,
definitely
we did. No,
oh,
we talked about one, but you forgot.
we talked about it because it's just more of, like, the time of the season, correct?
Uh-huh.
So, alright, okay, so alright, so that one let's do that one for the fact that it does make a lot of sense, right?
Mhm.
But the next one we're gonna do is this one right here. So what
Okay.
tell us what the next one's gonna be.
I wanted the next one to be Christmas movies, which is, it's typical. It's Christmas, but it's that time of year,
Right,
right? That time
right.
of year. It'll be December, and
It'll be a
we'll
week
put
in
our Christmas
December, but
movies.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll just say, "Hey, it's mid-December, and we're gonna
yeah,
toss them out." And I think we should go more of like the ones you should watch right around the actual day. I think
sure.
let's make it more specific, like not like general Christmas, but like
No, I'm gonna
Christmas,
pick like
Christmas.
my 5 favorite
Yeah,
Christmas movies.
yeah, that's what we need to. All right, so but anyway, so the week after that though, and I gotta remember this. I gotta put this in the memory bank. So
I
we
will.
spun right
Okay.
then because I love this. I love that we spun this. The next one after Christmas is underrated.
Ah. So movies
So
we think are
yes,
underrated.
the reason we think is underrated. So I think that's a really, really good one to cover after that. We could
Mhm.
respin possibly, but I think I like that one a lot. So
Mhm.
um,
Underrated. All
yeah,
right.
yep. So I think that's where we're headed next
That's gonna
time.
be a challenge for me. So luckily I have
Really,
2 weeks.
I have
Yeah.
a lot that I know that are
I feel
underrated.
like
So you better not put Napoleon Dynamite on there. Or
well, maybe I
I
will.
will throw it out.
Maybe I will.
I'll
No,
toss it
because
in
I
the
think
pool.
people really legitimately love Napoleon Dynamite, and I
I
think it's right where it
agree.
should be.
Bunch of weirdos.
Unlike you,
Bunch of
I think
weirdos.
it's right where it should be.
Well, anyway, all right. Well, I think we've said enough on this podcast. This episode, this chapter two,
Chapter.
chapter
Chapter
two.
2.
Let me know what you think about the intro. I really had a fun time making this intro. So let me know what you think about that. If it's too cheesy, if it's good, let me know. Yeah, I want to know. And I literally wrote that off the cuff. Like I just said it and I just kind of did it. So I was very proud of myself.
This
Um,
man is the podcast master.
I can do me some podcasting. So just to put it out there. If anybody needs some help with podcast, hit me up.
Yes, because let me tell you, he has done most of the things. I'm not very good at this sort of thing. I didn't know anything about it, and this man has done all the things.
Well, but your
So,
support and your help has been immensely helpful, especially with trying to help with audio stuff and get things sounding right. And we've definitely worked on that together. So,
mhm.
and this may not sound great. We may have problems with this episode. And if it is, we apologize. But we're
Yeah,
second episode, literally.
yeah.
So we're gonna be a lot better. We're gonna get this down.
Hmm.
We're trial shooting a lot of this stuff as we go along. So if we can do if you know how we can improve, tell us.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, you can find us on social media at the Old and the Beautiful Pod on Instagram. We
Mhm.
now have the TikTok page,
Oh,
the Old and the Beautiful Pod on there as well. Um, or no, just Old and the Beautiful, I think on there. We're on Blue Sky
oh.
at, and
I am not even on Blue
I keep
Sky.
messing
I don't
this
know what
up.
that is.
I want to make sure I get this right because every time I try to say this, because for some reason on their platform you can't give a full name. I don't
Oh,
understand it at all. But so on there we are Old and Beautiful Pod at Blue
old
Sky
and
or dot
beautiful
Blue
pod.
Sky. So
Okay.
that's where we are on there. And then we're not really on Facebook yet. I haven't really decided on that yet, but
Yeah.
it is what it is. We're kind of posting on our personals on there sometimes.
Hmm.
It is what it is. But if you have ideas, hit us up on Instagram or TikTok or Blue
Yeah. Or
Sky.
don't we even have an email?
Oh yeah.
Email.
Oh yeah. Our email is
Mhm.
the old and the beautiful pod at gmail.com.
Yeah.
So hit us up on that. Let us know what you think. If you want to email us too. So, or you can call us that. No.
No, no phone calls, please. I don't answer phone calls.
Yes.
I'm a
Text us
millennial.
that.
I
No.
don't answer phone calls.
I would like to set up a answer machine though. And that way we
Sure.
can play it on the air. I know
Yeah.
my buddy Jim Jam has one for his podcast. I'm asking what he does for his. So because they have to remember everything, you just call it and leave a message. But
Okay.
cool.
We do love to get ideas for new, top
Yeah.
fives or
Yeah.
whatever.
Or if you have just ideas for the show in general, or you just want to
Mhm.
tell us we suck or tell us we're great,
Yeah.
whatever, just tell us anything.
I mean,
So
I don't want to hear that I suck. So if you
I
keep
don't
that opinion to yourself, but
don't say to my wife or I'll put you down. No, I'm just kidding.
if you listen to it on Apple Podcasts and you like it, give us a 5-star review. If you don't like it, just move on.
Yeah,
Move
and
on.
same with Spotify. And you actually can leave comments on Spotify. So if you're on there, if you leave a comment for us, leave a comment on Spotify. But right now, we're only on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. You can use our RSS feed. I'm gonna have to put that up somewhere so people can get to it easily. But you
Hmm.
just put it in your podcatcher and you'll be able to load it up. I'm gonna put it on a few other platforms as well. So just keep I'll put those on our page. We have that up. So Yeah. So for now, I guess that's all we said. That's all we said. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
It is what it
It is
is.
what it is.
So hope you
It's your
enjoyed it.
favorite thing.
And like I said, happy December. Happy Merry
Happy
Christmas coming up.
December.
Hope you had a great Thanksgiving. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Mm.
See ya.
Bye-bye.